Performance Max campaigns. Are you one of the many marketers that have a love and hate relationship with this Google offering? When a Performance Max campaign works, it works really well. But when it doesn't, well, it's hard to figure out why it didn't. We spoke to Kirralee from Dilate Digital and our PPC Manager Lindsay Casey about Google's Performance Max campaigns. Here are the insights they shared about its pros and cons, along with helpful tips to make your agency's Performance Max campaigns more effective. Up first, the stuff they don't like about Performance Max campaigns.
It's a real black box. I mean, a lot of Google is a real black box, but a Performance Max is, some people may say, a step too far, and I am potentially one of those people. I like the concept of it, but it is just too difficult to control. I mean, in PPC, we've basically had almost 20 years of being able to control our Google Ads campaigns. And so Google has taken more and more control over the last few years, and PMax is just kind of, whoa, can we slow this down a little bit?
I think as agencies, we can't help but bang our head against the wall whenever we have to relinquish control to the platforms that we're using. So yes, there's definitely things I hate about Performance Max. The biggest thing by far, and I'm sure others will echo this, is that we don't have access to results, at least not results that are going to help us make informed decisions about things. So we can't actually really see what's working and what isn't working. We just know that it is, which is going to be increasingly frustrating as these campaigns, as they always do, they go up and down. And if these Performance Max campaigns stop working, we're not really going to know why, which is a bit of a problem, because at the moment we can't see where these conversions are coming from. Is it coming from the shopping side of Performance Max, or the search side? Is it the display? We can't really pick that apart. And like I said before, though, I think our industry is definitely going to demand that. And so I expect that Google will bring in more data analysis ability in the future, but who knows? We've just got to roll with the punches, I think, in the meantime.
I mean, I'm not against automation by any means. Automation is really, really helpful. I mean, Google's AI is better at math than me. It's better at math than probably any person. But, you know, it doesn't know things about our business that are important to us and to the way that we display ads and to the inventory that we may want our ads displayed on. So it's not a substitute, a pure substitute for human input. And I mean, really, that's always been true with Google. You know, that's true with any form of AI, or I mean, it's true with humans as well. You know, give clear direction, you will get clearer results. If the people or the machines working know what you want to achieve, you know, it's easier for them to work towards it. But Performance Max is very, very necessary to be clear. The problem is when Google doesn't allow you to give the specific direction. You know, it doesn't allow you to add, say, negative keywords, for example, which is a massive problem. If you have a Google rep, your Google rep can add negative keywords for you. So we know the capability is there. You know, they are letting you use account level negatives. But if, for example, you want to add your brand keywords as negative keywords to your Performance Max campaign, because you've noticed it's been cannibalizing your brand campaign, you can't do that without a Google rep doing it for you.
You also can't split test those ads. So you'd have to run separate campaigns if you wanted to test a different asset group or whatever, and then compare it manually. That is going to be something I imagine that agencies will demand from Google, an ability to split test. So it wouldn't surprise me if something like that came out eventually. It's just a bit of a waiting game.
Ooh, that's tough. But not everything about Performance Max campaigns are negative. Performance Max campaigns are very useful when it comes to specific campaigns.
I've also found it quite useful for testing whether display would work, rather than having lots of different display campaigns set up. If you have a new product or something that you want to test, whether display would work, it's a really good way of doing that without having to funnel a ton of budget into display, which can typically be a campaign type that's difficult to get up and running. So yeah, that's been amazing for launching new products in e-commerce. So if you've got an e-commerce account, it's definitely one to jump on.
It depends on the kind of advertiser you are. It depends on the kind of client you have, what kind of campaign you're running. You know, I've seen many people get really good results with e-commerce, you know, with shopping campaigns. I think that, you know, a lot of shopping campaigns are doing really well with it. The transition is going to be positive for a lot of advertisers running e-commerce. I mean, I think Google is starting to listen to marketers a little bit. And, you know, they have recently made it so while you still can't control devices, for example, you cannot exclude mobile placements, which is a big no-no for some advertisers, including us. It's a big problem, you know, but you can now tell Google that a conversion from a certain device is worth more. They've allowed some rules on conversion settings. So, you know, I can tell Google that a desktop conversion is worth twice X amount to me. So that does let them know that it's a more valuable conversion to me, which is helpful.
Love it or hate it, it's inevitable that the landscape will always change. And with Google, it seems that they've been pushing users towards using their new products or features recently. GA4. Kidding aside, in this case, it would be best to adapt to using Performance Max campaigns as early as possible.
We suspect that this is going to be the future of Google, leaning more and more into the AI side of things, and agencies losing a little bit of control over that. So this is a very good way of getting ahead. And that's why it's important to find that balance between your standard campaigns. If you're using PMax, we've got to find a way to be able to keep those standard campaigns running with Performance Max, not against it, which I think is going to be the big thing in the next year or so.
Google is not giving people the choice whether to use Performance Max or not. So you're going to have to use it. So you may as well spend the time to make sure that you're setting it up for success as best as you possibly can. But agencies need to learn how to use it to get results for their clients. So let's talk about how we can use it to get the results. It's like how to drive the self-driving car. Like, it's the Tesla of advertising, but I wouldn't trust it completely. It still needs a steering wheel.
Now, to help you ease your transition to using Performance Max campaigns, here are some tips and tricks that you can use to get the most out of your agency's Performance Max campaigns.
It's a matter of controlling the very limited elements that we can. So something that we've been doing is kind of forcing it to go more display so that we don't lose the standard campaign, like standard search campaigns or what have you. And you can do that by, like for display, if you wanted to force it to only show display, you just use the demographics and interest targeting rather than using custom intent, because custom intent uses those keywords. So you can kind of control it that way and force it to spend more of its money in the display route or the search route if you use custom intent. So that's one of the biggest things we're working on at the moment.
Another important thing to help Google steer the ship correctly is the creative that you use. So make sure you're using high quality creative. Make sure you're using videos. Make sure you're giving Google enough headlines and descriptions to mix and match. Make sure it all flows well together. Make sure that every asset group is full of assets that all complement each other. Don't just, upload all the brand images you have and all of your taglines into one asset group. Make themed asset groups where all assets complement each other and make sense. That way, no matter how Google displays it, no matter which platform they display it on, your ad is going to make sense.
What do you think? Are you still on the fence about Performance Max campaigns? What do you love or hate about them? Let us know in the comments. Get more insights about Google Performance Max campaigns from our guide linked in the description. See you in the next video.